We are live 364 days a year. What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with you two.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan. Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get fishy after Monday Night Raw?
Good evening from Swansea wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. We had a bit of an awkward couple of seconds there at the start of the show. For whatever reason, the intro video just did not play. I had to manually play it, but it did end up playing, and we're getting ready for a big show here today, predicting tomorrow night, Saturday night's main event. It is a stacked four-match card, notably missing a women's match. We spoke about that on the show the other day. Hopefully, they will add one on SmackDown tonight. But I do have a stacked panel to predict the show with me today. First things first, Mr. Jordy in the bank. How are you today, Jordy?
Hey, mate. I'm good. It's Friday. It means no more work. It's actually a bank holiday over here in the UK, which means no more work until Tuesday. So it's a great day for me. I feel a little bit under the weather. I think I spent too long in London. Shook too many hands at events. And yeah, so I'm a little bit ill, but I'm here. I'm not missing a prediction show. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. Yeah, and there should be a women's match. Just I've not been on a show to say that, but let it be known that I fully think that there should be.
Absolutely. I mean, London does do that to you. It's a place just full of germs, right? Honestly, it's just crazy. Everybody who goes there gets ill immediately after coming back. But also joining us today, we have somebody who hasn't been to London, but instead has been to Spain. How are you, Archie? And happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much, Ben. Yeah, I'm very well. I've had a very nice, relaxing holiday in Spain. Probably, as you can see, got a bit of a tan. It's been a bit of a while since I've been on a prediction show, and it's been a while since I've been on the daily, so I'm excited to get into it. And is that a new Arsenal kind of flag you got in the back there? Because I've got one like that, but it says Chelsea versus Manchester City Champions League final, so rather than just the Euro fan.
Yes, it is a new Arsenal sign. Basically, I was buying a couple
Does it
of
say
items.
we came second?
To cheer myself up after this season, I went onto the Arsenal shop and bought a away kit, which I didn't have, and then also an Arsenal polo top. And basically, I needed to spend £3 more to get free delivery. So yeah. I got that, and there we are.
Yeah, it looks good. Just a shame you haven't won anything to kind of put on there. It's just the year you were founded, but you know.
DCX Warlord says, did Archie see a wild A kid over in Spain?
Well, I don't know. I didn't, but I was looking out for him because obviously, he hasn't been on TV for a while, and I don't know whether his brother or his Axiom, or I don't know. His good friend Axiom has obviously been in Spain recently, but I didn't see A Kid, unfortunately.
We got Shard in the comments. Shout out to you, and Hassan in the chat as well. And you says this polite UK trash talk is hilarious. It was not polite the other day. It was all guns blazing.
Oh, really?
We have to get 7 minutes. Do we have to get like 7 minutes in until we start being not so polite with our trash?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Although exactly. I think actually with the YouTube ad one, we can't actually swear at all in it. Yeah, but Ewan says Archie with the unreal tan there.
Thank you.
But
you do. To be fair, you look like you've been sat next to the sun for a week. I'm jealous.
But talking about somebody who has a tan to somebody who needs a tan, let's talk about John Cena, because he is going to be defending the undisputed championship against R-Truth in what is quite frankly quite a controversial matchup. A lot of people are saying this shouldn't be on a pay-per-view. It is a waste of one of John Cena's final matches. But Jordy, you are arguably John Cena's biggest fan. You were, as far as we know, the only fan to text him asking how he was feeling after the Royal Rumble. So, Jordy, what is your thoughts on all of this?
Don't care if people are sad. Just want to see John wrestle. No, I actually, for the first time in this heel run, like, I'll defend I'll defend him. I'll defend John. But this one does feel a little bit like the title's not even on the line, right? This isn't one of the
Isn't
matches.
it?
I don't
No, it's
think
not.
so. I don't think
Oh,
so.
shoot. I messed up the thumbnail.
Yeah. No, it is. Oh, right. Well, I was going to say, it just says John Cena versus R-Truth. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, the title's not on the line. So I think there's just a little bit of like, it is taking up a spot on a PLE. And when there's not a women's match on there, it just feels a little bit like, that's not great. When I've defended people wanting to see a nostalgic John Cena final run, wanting to see the greats, the old classics, the CM Punks, the Randy Ortons, R-Truth, as much as I love the guy, he doesn't fall into that category. It's not like, oh, I can't wait to watch this match for one last time. Like, it'll be fun, and I'm sure. I'm just hoping and convinced that like there's going to be something more that comes from this match. Maybe somebody's going to return. Maybe. Well, we've seen Cody for the first time.
Mhm.
He was at Epic Universe, and somebody asked him about. There's a ride called Stardust Races, and somebody asked him how he felt about having a ride named after him, and he was like, "Yeah, that was one of the lowest times in my life, and now it's there for people to be spreading joy for everyone." So that's funny. So maybe Cody's going to come back. Maybe Cena is going to lose against R-Truth, and that's why the title's not on the line. And somebody's going to interrupt from the outside. But yeah, I get people's frustrations. I'm still excited to see John wrestle on this last one.
Again, I said on the show yesterday it might be opposite day because I wasn't going on about AIDS for once and it was shard. Well, today, Jordy, I'm going to be defending a John Cena storyline for once, not you. They have done this R-Truth storyline thing for like quite a few years now. Him being, his childhood hero being John Cena. They had to do something about this during his heel run. And this has been a 3-week program. Is only going to take up one of John Cena's dates. And I think it's going to be a really fun 1 to 2 minute match. It shouldn't be any longer. I don't think it's going to be any longer. And I do still think there is going to be a women's match on this card announced tonight. And I'm going to be honest, I'm happy it's happening. I'm looking forward to it. But I also do agree. I think we might see the American Nightmare himself show up. But my prediction is Cena. Jordy, to clarify, is your Cena too?
Oh, right. Yeah, to win. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll go Cena.
There we are. What about you, Archie? What's your thoughts on this?
I agree with you that this is a storyline that needed to kind of had the knot tied on it. Cena turning heel and R-Truth kind of not getting involved or not being kind of a part of that heel turn would feel a bit wrong, considering the whole kind of R-Truth's Cena is R-Truth's childhood hero and all of that. That it's been kind of a nothing storyline for me, but I understand why they're doing it. If I'm honest, I wish this was on like a SmackDown or something, like on a TV special. This could have easily, I think it's kind of a bit despicable from WWE that there's not a women's match on this show. I mean, for everything we talk about for Evolution, like about the potential Evolution 2 or something like that. And this is just a full card full of men's matches. So I don't think Cena and R-Truth needed to be on there. I think the reason it is on there, is because Cody Rhodes will be returning. But I think it's a bit of a cop-out to put that on there when you could have just done a segment to have Cody return and then have a women's match in place of that. But I'm going to say Cena's going to win. It's going to be a very, very quick match. He's probably going to hit 1AA or an STF, and he's going to hit 1AA, he's going to hit an STF, and Truth's going to pass out. So I think Cena's definitely winning this, and Cody will return after.
There we are, bang on, and I completely agree with you, Archie. I think we're all on the same page there, but talking about not being on the same page as somebody, right? Actually, I am on the same page. I'm a big Sari fan. Giancarlo in the comments. Honestly, somebody needs to put Sari in touch with this guy. He is like the biggest Sari fan. Every stream, every time in the comment section, Sari, WWE. I don't know if it's going to happen.
I hope maybe he's an insider and he's giving us some information.
Giancarlo Select.
Yeah, I hope for Giancarlo's sake that Sorry goes to WWE. I didn't care that much until now. Now I'm fully invested. I hope it happens. If it does, I'm gonna be popping champagne.
Just for him.
Invested as well.
Just for
fully.
Giancarlo.
Yeah, 100%.
He's got more.
More have been added during this conversation. But but Shard saying she's going to AEW. Imagine that, the heartbreak, the heel turn for Giancarlo.
Oh. He hasn't even got a Sare profile picture though. It's of Oscar. So I mean, you know, if you're going to be a
Japan
true fan.
He wanted WrestleMania Japan too, to be fair. But Jesse Hyde's mentioning WrestleMania 42 Double or Nothing. No wonder WWE fans are mad now. I mean, in all seriousness, I don't think that many fans are mad. But if you do want to know everything that's currently going on with that WrestleMania 42 situation, the cancellation, all of it, I did a video earlier today. Check that out to see the facts and the fiction. But I mean, David Hall, once again, I'm not reading out your comments for a second day in a row. I mean, these are disgraceful, man. But anyway, this is disgraceful. But D6 Wallet says Coach Ibushi might be returning at Double or Nothing. I would love to see that. But I mean, do you know what else I'd love to see, guys? Tomorrow night, Jey Uso retain the championship over Logan Paul. Some people are saying they want Logan Paul to win it. I cannot for the life of me get my head around that. I mean, listen, the Jey Uso hate, I think, is completely just unjustified from the get-go because I know I'd made jokes about Triple H and how he said the internet doesn't matter and all that, when in fact, I think it really does matter. But this is an example which does back up his point ever so slightly, because the internet has fully turned on Jey Uso, it seems like, but in the arenas, it's 100% on Jey Uso's side. I genuinely, in the 9 years I've covered professional wrestling, have never once seen something like this. It is nuts to me. But Jordy, do you think it's going to be Jey Uso or Logan Paul tomorrow night?
If you want Logan Paul to win this match, just honestly, I don't know. I won't say anything too mean, but just have a look in the mirror and just have a little think for a second, because we're talking about Jey Uso, this guy who, he was electric. We loved him. I still love him. Like, how do we not? I don't understand this discourse that's turned against Jey Uso. I can't see this match going any other way. I think this is just our yearly, let's plug Logan into a world title match. It's probably in his contract. I really don't want to see Logan win the world title. I defended Logan back a while back in the sense of just because of his in-ring ability. And I thought when he won the US title, it was a chance for him to actually go on a proper full-time run and defend it and maybe silence a few people. And he didn't. He was off playing Tetris and stuff. So, like, I've had enough of him. He's served his purpose in WWE as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet. That's how it's going tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree, because I don't think he should be world champion. I don't necessarily think he should be used on major events in major storylines. But for a B pay-per-view, or in this case, sorry, not even a pay-per-view, just Saturday night's main event, no way is he not going to bring more eyes to this. Like, more people are going to be watching this show because he's on it compared to if he's not on it, surely.
Maybe with it being on TV, I see your point. Fair enough. I still don't want him to be there, but I understand that.
The good thing about Logan Paul in for WWE is that he does actually bring more eyes to the product. He brings his fans over to it's not.
I don't want him.
I want all the fans. All the fans.
Yeah, we want all the fans, Jordy. But he brings more eyes to the product. He brings more social media views to WWE and everything like that. I don't have a problem with him being on a B pay-per-view or a TV special. But I agree that he should never win a world title, and he should never be in a major storyline going into even a B pay-per-view. But as a TV special, I mean, it's fine.
I think, I agree. With it, I forgot it was a TV special, really. I
Yeah,
think,
I don't
and
even
I
agree on
agree for them
pay-per-view.
points, like the Chamber. I think,
Mhm.
yeah, get him in there because he's one of 6 and he can do something that's gonna bring a load of
Yeah,
eyes to the product. So I do see the value there. And to be honest, I had forgot that it's a
yeah.
different broadcasting situation. So it does probably make sense to utilize him
But
at this point to be like, oh, tune in for free.
But I've said it time and time again that Logan Paul for me has not improved enough in WWE to be in these major spots. Like, yeah,
Really?
he's very good in the ring, but his promos just sound robotic. And I've said it before, but for somebody that's a social media kind of influencer, his promos just don't sound. It just doesn't sound like a real person talking. It just sounds like it sounds so fake all the time. And it happened when he was in a promo battle with CM Punk, and Punk was, you can see on Punk's face, he's just like, just get me out of here. Just like this guy isn't even in my league. Like, why am I in a promo battle with him? Yes, it brings social media views, but the thing is, if Logan Paul wasn't a celebrity, he'd be in NXT right now. And he wouldn't even be challenging over Femi for the title. He'd be in NXT. I see more stock in Jasper Troy, who just laid out Obafemi, than Logan Paul, honestly.
I mean, actually, I can, to be honest with you, yeah, I can agree with that. What I don't agree with is the promo thing necessarily. I just think that's how he talks in general. Because even on his podcast, he just doesn't talk very naturally.
I think he does, but
No,
I know what you mean.
he
It's like
does.
he puts
It's
on
like
this promo
conversation.
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like he puts on this promo voice when he's in WWE, and I agree, it can be a little bit jarring. But then I almost kind of give him a pass on that because he should jar me, he should irritate me. He is a heel,
yeah, but
so like,
he's trying too hard to be that kind of, oh, I came in from elsewhere, I'm this kind of social media influencer character. He's trying too hard to do that. And for me personally, the best promos in wrestling come from when somebody's Karrion Kross said it on an interview like a few days ago. Is when somebody's being genuinely real. That's when you get the biggest reactions and you get the biggest emotional reactions from fans, is when someone's actually being genuinely real in their promo, and you can tell it. Logan Paul, you
Yeah.
can tell he's
You're
just
right
been
on that.
he's just been given a
yeah,
script.
yeah,
He's just saying what's in the script. Like I feel like Logan Paul, he's not going off the cuff. At backstage, he's probably just memorizing his lines over and over again, and then he just says them word for word when he goes out to the ring. Because it
I don't know
doesn't
if
feel
I agree with that part. I just think
doesn't feel
he just
feel
doesn't deliver them very well. I think he
Yeah.
knows what he's going to say good. I just don't think he delivers it that well.
yeah, it just doesn't feel
he's
like
probably scared of going wrong as well, so he probably does stick to the
Yeah.
script.
Yeah,
Whereas
just
a CM
yeah.
Punk will be like, I'm just gonna say this, and
He
we'll deal with
has
it
no, but
later.
he has like, for example, when there's been certain crowd chants and stuff, he always has like changed what he's going to say.
Yeah, no.
Like, he
In
has
fairness,
done that well.
he's good with a crowd. I will say that
Yeah,
he
but
can.
Yeah.
He knows how to
It's-
interact with a crowd. But I agree, his delivery is a little bit. There's a
Well,
monotone to it, and it's like
it's specifically in promo battles that it's like he says something and then you can kind of tell he's waiting for whoever he's having a promo battle with to kind of
which
to
again,
say
maybe that comes from, because listen, if I was there and I had a script, I would be doing the same. I wouldn't be going off the script against CM Punk because I'd be scared to disrespect.
No,
him.
I'm not.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there maybe is like a level of that.
It's
Um,
difficult. I
yeah.
will say, I do actually think people are saying that because he's a celebrity, he's not being held to the level he would be if he's a wrestler. I actually think it's vice versa. I think people are like over analyzing him so
I think
much
there's
just
an
because of
element
the
of that.
guy he is.
Yeah,
No,
I think
that's
there's an element of that. He's very easy to dislike, so like it is.
Yeah.
I think there is a bit of overhate on him for not. If listen, we won't get into the person himself. It may be
No.
warranted, it maybe not.
No.
But like in terms of like, yeah, people make out he's worse than he is because of the person he is, and they don't like that, and that's fine. But that's not. He is a good wrestler. Like he can put on a good match, and he can put on a hell of a spot that's going to do numbers. And I saw someone say like he doesn't draw or put bums on seats. Unfortunately,
Yeah, John says in the comments.
it's not all bums on seats anymore. If you bring millions and millions of views via social media, they value that too. Because
He
Jey
does, yeah.
Uso's
The
gonna
fact
Jey
is he
Uso's gonna
factually
put
draws.
bums on seats. You know what I mean? John Cena's gonna put bums on seats. Logan Paul's gonna get 800 million views on social media. That everyone has a job to play, everyone has a role to play. So I think
Logan Paul can't sell a ticket. Well, if it was in a if he's
that's
in a
not true.
No,
That's
it is.
not
If
true.
he I mean, just from a promo battle, he couldn't.
Oh, sorry, I agree,
He's
yeah.
he's never. I didn't clarify. Sorry, he's never sold me personally a ticket or made me want to watch that match other than I'm watching it because I'm a fan already. Like,
Okay, fair point there.
in a promo battle, obviously with his social media following and everything like that, yes, he does. But in the
His
promo
name
battle,
can sell a ticket.
yeah, that's what I mean. How many times can we say that? Oh, yeah, he's great in the ring. Great, you're great in the ring. Everyone knows how athletically great you are, but that's not everything in wrestling. You need to show some character development. You need to show some improvement in promo ability, and he hasn't shown any of that except from in the ring. That's the only aspect that he's improved in wrestling.
I will say though, right, because even in ring, people are complaining about him. This Saturday night, Jey Uso and Logan Paul, they honestly should have a fire under their butts wanting to put on a classic. They should be wanting to put on a near 5-star match because the entire internet is having a go at them saying, it's going to be a rubbish match, all of this. If they go out there and knock it out of the park, which I think there is a potential that they do, it will shut up everybody. And at that point, I think that genuinely could extend Jey Uso's reign as champion by multiple months because right now, I'm not entirely sure how long it will last. But Archie, I'm presuming you're also going to go Jey Uso on this one?
Yeah, Jey Uso for the win.
There we are. Up next, let's actually talk about Wrestling Republic Undercard, because if you guys haven't subscribed to our new second channel, make sure you do. We've got exclusive videos, clips, and more on there. But after today's episode of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, but an hour after, we are going to have this week's episode of Sold separately on there. Clark and Anthony reviewing wrestling figures. What is better than that? It is an absolute joy to watch, and make sure you check it out over on Wrestling Republic Undercard for exclusive videos, clips, and more. Also, if you've not downloaded the Etsy app, make sure you go and do that. And you can download it in the App Store or the Google Play Store, and you can talk with us when we do streams on there. You can come on the call. You can argue with us. Clark's on there pretty much every Saturday. So is Ant You. So is Wrestling Takes. I mean, honestly, fantastic app, fantastic people. Download that app now. But up next, let's talk about a steel cage match. Let's talk about Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, a WrestleMania rematch on television. Archie, talk to me about it.
I've got something to say to kind of the internet fans that were complaining about why is Drew McIntyre facing Damian Priest at WrestleMania? Oh, there was a lot of complaints when this rivalry started. But in my opinion, it's been one of the best rivalries in WWE so far. It's been one of the most most consistently best rivalries in WWE so far. It's heated. It has a proper story. It's been it's been booked for a while. It's been like a year in the making, over a year in the making. It was at WrestleMania. So it ticks all the boxes. It's a personal feud. It's the second year in a row Drew has gotten involved in a great personal feud. And I'm extremely excited for this match. I knew this was coming. I didn't think it was going to be a one and done at WrestleMania. I'm guessing Priest will probably beat Drew McIntyre. That's going to be my prediction, is Damian Priest will beat Drew McIntyre to kind of make it 1-1. But this is one of my most look forward to matches on at Saturday night's main event, because I feel like this is going to steal the show. These are two people that don't really get enough credit. Damian Priest actually does not get enough credit. Drew McIntyre is fantastic. We all know that. But Damian Priest is somebody that's a genuine main eventer now. Like, he's somebody that's a guy that can float between the United States Championship and the World Championship, or the Mid-Card Championship and the World Championship, and people wouldn't even bat an eyelid because he has been built into this star now. We talk about how beneficial it was for Rhea Ripley to leave Judgment Day. It has been equally beneficial for Damian Priest to leave Judgment Day as well. And I don't think he gets enough love. So I think he will win this match, and I think he deserves a win in this match as well.
I mean, Shard agrees with you, saying it's going to be a match of the night. Fernando disagrees on your prediction. He reckons Drew is going to win. But I disagree with you on something as well, Archie. And that is this Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest thing. Because I still don't think this should have been the WrestleMania match. I agree it was a fantastic feud, but that is because Drew McIntyre was fantastic. But how many times in his prime with somebody who's been at the company for that long is such a, known name in the wrestling world like Drew McIntyre? How long can he be fantastic for and he can deliver every single chance he gets and not get big chances? I still think he should have been on that main event at WrestleMania Saturday. And quite frankly, I still feel like they don't know what to do with Drew McIntyre. I think he's going to win tomorrow night. I do. But I'm not entirely sure where from here we go with him. And I don't think they know either.
No, I heavily disagree with that because Damian Priest is somebody that, as I said, he has been in a big spot consistently in WWE. So that was a big spot for him. This is a story that's had to have been told over the course of the year, and it needed to culminate somewhere. And yes, I did agree with you on that point that he should have been added into the Punk, Seth and Roman match. But actually, I judging by the way of how that match has gone now, where Heyman turning on Seth and Punk and Roman, that I actually think it was better that Drew faced Priest and was out of that match, because I feel like he would have just been the odd one out in that kind of that moment of Heyman turning on both Roman and Punk wouldn't have been as big if Drew was involved in the match. And to me, the story was never the story was never about culminating this year-long story of Seth and Roman and Punk. This was the start of their story. Drew McIntyre, he finished with all of them. The Bloodline Hunter story should have gotten more time, yes, and they should revisit that. But he finished with all of them, basically. So
he didn't finish with all of them. No, he didn't.
He did.
They were in the
he finished.
He finished. Match. He was name dropping them every week on the build up to WrestleMania, and they did nothing. And then 1 week, with 4 weeks to go before WrestleMania, Drew stopped mentioning them when he'd been mentioning them every week for the entire year, one of those three, and then just suddenly went dead silent on it and focused on Damian Priest, and we've not acknowledged it since.
Yeah, he
did. Priest did eliminate him from the Rumble. So
yeah, and even after that, he was still
more than 4 weeks prior.
Roman.
Yeah, because
but up to 4 weeks, he was mentioning Roman.
Yeah, because that could again have been a conscious creative effort to be like, we're going to catch them off guard with this Damian match. No,
like,
probably, but I feel bad for Drew.
I do to an extent, but I also when every time you say that, I feel bad for Damian.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I feel like you like everything that you're saying is how great Drew is, how amazing Drew is, and I agree. But so is Damian. Damian is really good as well.
He had a main event run.
Absolute star.
Drew only had that main event run during the pandemic. Sure, he won the title for like 30 seconds at WrestleMania before he was cashed in on by Priest. But Priest had that WrestleMania moment, and also like. Priest hasn't been at this for the number of years Drew McIntyre has too, by the way.
No,
the actual story behind Drew McIntyre to get here is crazy. And I mean, he just hasn't had the moment he deserves. And he's putting in the work. He's the MVP of this company last year.
I think he got the moment he deserved when he had that unbelievable match against CM Punk, right? That we all said that was one of the best Hell in a Cell matches that we've seen. Like, you don't have to be the champion necessarily
That's what
to be like
dreams about.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll get that. But right now, one of the things that he's doing along the way, these are two people that deserve to be champion. Just because Drew's been wanting it longer doesn't mean he deserves it more.
No, but I'm not saying that either. But last year, McIntyre was the MVP of the company.
I agree, and I'd love to see a world title on him, and I think we will get there. But right now, like you said, with the avenue that we're going, look, we'll talk about the next match soon. I think there's probably going to be a third person show up, and that'll again expand this storyline. So I just think that right now, I agree. Maybe they're treading water with him, but there's a perfect like if you need someone for him to tread water with, Damian Priest is the perfect person, because I think
I don't disagree with that.
Perfect. Well, not perfect, but they'll put on banger matches together. They'll both come out of it looking good. and then hopefully
It's a
brand
heated
split.
rivalry as
split
well.
them up.
By the way, I don't
That's what
have
I
any
wanna see.
issue with the feud. The issue was they were building something different and they were on the 1 yard
Yeah,
line
blame
and
Dwayne for
decided,
that.
hang on, Drew McIntyre, we're turning you around and you're walking backwards. Because I don't care what anybody says.
That's-
Facing Damian Priest is a step down from main eventing WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, it is. But we all
Yeah.
know we all know that what happened at the end of Elimination Chamber with The Rock, Cena. It was an audible called in by Harry last minute. I think that stuff is what's messed all of this up. I don't know.
I've been really enjoying this feud, and I think my main worry about it was if Drew wasn't able to show off his best self in this feud, and he's absolutely done that. This is Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
He's still, you can see he's got a passion for this feud. You can see he's got a fire lit under him in this feud, as does Damian Priest. I don't feel sorry for him at all because both of these guys, this rivalry is elevating both guys, especially Damian Priest. It's making people see how much of a star Damian Priest is, or at least it should do. And the Drew McIntyre thing, yes, they pivoted away from the Roman stuff, sure. The Punk stuff, for me, that finished at Hell in a Cell. They had teasers with Seth, but I'll get onto that in the next thing because I might agree with Jordy in that one. But I
want to quickly read out some comments here as well because, well, I mean, firstly, the Sari talk still going on in the comment section. Everyone loves Sari today.
It'll never stop.
But I make beats this year. Shout out to you. We got who else is in the comments? Shard saying Ben is a Priest hater. I'm not. I really like Damian Priest, and I was a big fan of getting the moment. No, but it's got nothing to do with Damian Priest. The fact is that I believe that
because if you're booking though, the question is, right? Either chuck Drew into that match, then what do I do with Priest?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I still think that they should have just figured something out for that. Because Drew McIntyre was the glue all the way up to the fact, all the way up until they brought up the name Paul Heyman. Drew was the one linking those three guys together in the story all year. And then they were like, okay, Drew's gone, let's bring in Paul Heyman. And I think that's why they got rid of him.
Sorry, Punk was the father of the Shield. Ben, how can you say Drew was linking those guys together?
Over the last year, he was.
I also think Seth links them because, like, Roman and there was the favor. Roman hates Seth. Seth hates Punk. Like that. Seth links them.
This is like It's Always Sunny.
Yeah. Like, so, like Drew, he kind of.
I explained it at the time, but anyway, we need to move on now to talk. But actually, before we do, Jordy, McIntyre or Priest?
Priest.
Wow. Okay.
Someone's got
on that one.
Him.
I'm going Drew. But up next, Bobby Petito says, "Hello, guys. Hello, Bobby. Hope you're having a fantastic day." But let's now talk Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, the unnamed faction alongside Paul Heyman taking on Sami Zayn and CM Punk. A lot of rumblings, a lot of fan theories that Sami Zayn is going to do a Hogan in this match. He is going to join the heel team. It should not happen, but do I think it will happen? Hopefully not. I'm going to predict Rollins and Breaker do win, though. But Jordy, what's your call?
They can't do that, can they? They can't. They can't do Cena and Sammy in the same calendar year. Think of the children. Come on. I think somebody will join, but and you know what? I can't even predict who that person is. I think Rollins and Breaker win. I think somebody joins as a third person to the faction. I don't think it's Sami Zayn. I really don't. And I've been wrong about these things before. I didn't think Dom was going to turn on Rhea, and I was wrong about that. But I can't, man. I can't sit here and say that Sami Zayn's going to turn. So my prediction is that Rollins and Breaker win. The third person joins. Who that is, I don't know. And yeah, Zayn and Punk take the out.
I've said it before, and I'll just put it out there again. I don't think it's going to happen. This isn't a prediction, but Omos, him coming in tomorrow night and just evening the odds, I think would make so much sense. Yes, Braun Breaker's also the muscle, but Omos is a different type of muscle. I think, to have them both in the same faction, you can have two muscles, and I think it would just make it absolutely stacked. And also, I mean, people have been teaming up to take out Braun Breaker the last few weeks. If you have Omos too, I mean, everybody else is screwed. Archie, what's your call?
I don't think I hope Omos isn't the third man. Look, I like Omos. It was a shame that he got recalled from Japan. Well, not recalled. He wasn't on loan, but basically recalled. And when Japan, where he was really over. But he's not ready for this main event spotlight. Do I think there will be a third person? That first of all, this storyline has been carrying my interest in WWE recently. This has been by far my favorite thing in WWE and probably my favorite thing in wrestling right now. I absolutely love the faction with Rollins, Breaker, and Heyman. I don't really think it needs a third man. Will we get a third man? I think we will. It's going to be tough. I've got a feeling, and I don't want to say this, but I've got a feeling Sammy's going to turn on Punk, and I feel like Rollins and Breaker are going to win this match, and it's going to be through Sammy's help, but it's not going to be a full heel turn. For me, I still think we're going to get WrestleMania 42. I still think it's going to be wherever that's going to be. I don't know where it's going to be, but wherever it'll be Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins for the world title. But I think Sami Zayn will join this faction as a kind of he'll join this faction apprehensively because he knows that this dream that he's dreamt of his whole career can only happen if he's got the help of someone like Seth or Bron Breakker. So I think it'll be a bit like a Daniel Bryan and the Wyatt situation where eventually Sami will turn on Seth and Bron, and Seth and Bron will kind of take him for granted a bit, and then that kind of it won't lead to like a yes movement kind of thing, but it will lead to Seth and Sami. But I've just got a feeling Sami's going to turn heel, and I don't want him to be a full heel. I want him to still be Sami Zayn, just that he's turned on CM Punk. And I want him to, because that still feels real to me. That would if he turned heel, but his intentions were because he wants to achieve his dream and in that he's had for his whole career, then to me that feels like a real reason to turn on Punk. And eventually you can do the Sami turn, and it can be Sami versus Seth. But I feel like he's going to turn on him. I feel like Seth and Bron's going to win, and I feel like a lot of people aren't going to like that. But if it goes in that direction, I don't hate it personally.
Well, Archie, you can call me Wade Barrett because I'm afraid I've got some bad news or a bad theory, in other words, because you said you only want it to be 2 men. I think it is not going to be 3 men, but I also don't think it's going to be 2. I think it's going to be 4, because I don't think Sami Zayn is going to be the one to turn tomorrow night. I don't think that's going to happen. And the reason I say someone like Omos, it could be literally anybody, right? But I'm going to throw Omos out there. I don't think he's going to be the face of the faction. I think he is going to be the background, whereas like Bron Breakker's still muscle, but I think he's going to be literally the face alongside Rollins. But I think then next pay-per-view, Money in the Bank, or maybe on an episode of Raw, whatever, we are going to get a 6-man tag team match. Maybe even it's after the Gunther stuff. I don't know. But a 6-man tag team match. Sami Zayn, CM Punk, and Jey Uso. We've seen them together versus Rollins, Breakker, and the 3rd man. And at that point, either a 4th man debuts, or to your point, Archie, maybe then that's when Sami turns.
Turning on Jay Brett's heart.
I thought you were going to say the 3rd man, Logan Paul.
Oh, no. Please, no.
That's
Please, no, don't give them ideas.
I said,
watching this, don't.
No, bro, he doesn't listen to the internet. Don't worry. Say what we want.
He just messaged me actually, Triple H. So I'm sorry, guys. I might have spoken that into existence.
I'm in the Austin Theory camp here in this.
Yes.
Because listen, incredibly talented lad, very very talented in the ring, very funny, and that is one thing that I think this faction will need. Bron is very serious. Like, you don't want to mess with Bron. Seth is the mastermind of that. You need somebody that's going to make you laugh a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, the Bloodline had Sami, right? That was like they were the heels, but Sami made you laugh. That was so. I think that's what they need, and I think Theory fits the bill for that. But I just think that this break with Waller needed to happen sooner.
Yeah,
They needed to be split 2 weeks ago. So now
Yeah.
on Saturday, Theory pops up after being away for a couple of weeks, and he's aligned with these. And like, yeah, he could be so funny with Bron Breakker because Bron's funny. Bron Breakker's funny. He knows he could be like the straight deadpan, and Theory could be the. I also believe that this faction needs somebody to take L's. They need somebody to take pins.
No.
No, they
This
do.
losing
I
streak,
knew that was
Jordy, that's the
happening.
point in adding him.
They do.
408
No,
days or
listen.
whatever it is.
Listen, though, hear me out. The Bloodline had Solo and Jimmy, and you need
That worked out
it.
well for them.
It can't be Bron, damn it! It can't be Bron. That's the thing. Like if they're gonna
Still
have
work
someone
for
in the
everyone.
faction that you're gonna, and I think Theory can come out of it as a face, and it'll work.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Theory is that kind of cocky, arrogant, kind of young guy in this group that kind of still needs a lot of work being done on him. I feel like he would like a bit of a Randy Orton type character, like he was in
Yeah.
Evolution. Like I feel like that would be perfect. Here's the thing though. They need to start making the crowd boo this group more, and they're starting
Wow.
to. They're starting.
That's true.
They're starting to
Theory.
cheer Theory.
Yeah,
And
that's an issue.
would it make more sense to have Grayson Waller join this faction and he turns on
Maybe,
Austin
but
Theory?
I just don't like the idea of Grayson Waller joining a faction because I think he's so like anti-group. He's like, nah, I'm like
No, but
screw you guys,
it's a
I'm
bit
on
it's a
my
bit
own."
like
I
yeah,
also
but it's-
don't know
no,
if his
it's a-
ceiling's that high, to be honest.
I think it. I
Well,
think
that's a
I
hot
To
take.
be main event, I
I
think
think
this
Waller's-
faction should elevate all of them like Evolution did to the top main event. I think
Yeah.
Grayson Waller could main event PLEs. I don't think Grayson Waller can be in the conversation to be the face of the company. That's what I mean by that.
No, I feel like Austin. I feel like Austin Theory would be my first choice as well. I just got that concern because I'm hoping this kind of leads to Sammy versus Seth at WrestleMania 42, and this is Sammy kind of trying to fight against the group that's been dominating Raw. But if they're going to continue to cheer this group, then that takes away from Sammy's underdog kind of story that we're telling here, and I don't like that. But listen, if they add Austin Theory to this group early on, like they do now at Saturday night's main event, there's plenty of time for them the fans to kind of get bored of it and start cheering Sami Zayn. But I think Austin Theory would be perfect. I think you can kind of do that split with Grayson Waller and have him join the faction in one, because Grayson's had multiple times we've seen Grayson not kind
They
of
split tonight.
Yeah, but if you did that, but he wants Raw, so they can't do it tonight.
Yeah.
Well, they could, but I don't think they will.
But
Then
seen
they
it
would
plenty of-
cheer them. They would
No.
massively cheer them if
Yeah,
you
they
turned on
would,
Grayson
but-
Waller and joined them. The crowd would go ballistic.
No, but no. What you would need to do is Grayson hasn't cooperated with Theory a lot of the times in the past few weeks. That's been the whole story. Theory joining this group, Grayson doesn't need to be part of that angle. And then backstage, Grayson can kind of say, what happened here? I thought, you didn't tell me about this. And then on the Raw, he can kind of say, we've got a surprise for you or whatever, and then bring him out and then turn on him. But you don't turn on him, obviously, as Theory's joined the group. But I don't know. I guess that would
think
make
even
it.
still, there needs to be a few weeks between, to Jordy's point. Maybe, though, he could be the fourth man, not the third man. That's possible, too, if there's that many.
Yeah.
I think we're looking Dangerous Alliance here. I don't think we're looking a two-man duo. I think this is going to be a faction.
I agree. I don't think. I think it should be Theory added. I really don't want Omos added because I don't really see main event. I don't really see main event potential in the guy.
I'd rather see Goldberg added.
Super marketable. The guys,
Yeah.
the guys in this position. I mean, he's the biggest big man in a position so young since Big Show, by the way, too. People don't talk about that enough. But this does bring us, guys, to the end of the show. I'm going to very quickly read out some comments. Fernando says Trick Williams is joining the faction. Interesting call. Kobe says Waller's ceiling is that high. He could see him being a face of the company. Fair point. DCX says, what's a third man beaters hour? But he wants it to be Grayson Waller as well. Kobe agrees there needs to be a face run. Bobby Petito could see Bron Breakker in the men's Money in the Bank match. I agree then. David Mard says Big Show is the best. We will see you guys same time, same place tomorrow. Have a fantastic Friday evening.